There's a particular kind of cold that has nothing to do with weather. It's the cold that settles into your bones when you realize God might not answer the one prayer that matters most. I stopped praying for 3 years. Not because I stopped believing, but because I thought God had stopped listening. If you've ever felt that silence, that terrible, holy silence, type me in the comments. Because you need to know, you're not alone in this. This is the story of Margaret O'Connor, a 58-year-old widow from Dublin who moved to a small Canadian town. And it's the story of how a dying garden taught her what 1,000 masses couldn't. Patrick O'Connor died on a Tuesday, March 17, 2022, St. Patrick's Day, which would have made him laugh if he'd known. They'd been married 34 years. 34 years of shared morning tea, of finishing each other's prayers, of the kind of love that doesn't need to announce itself. That morning, he kissed her goodbye at breakfast, told her he'd be home by 6 for evening Massachusetts. She said what she always said, like always, love. He walked out the door. He never walked back in. Massive heart attack, the doctors said. He was gone before the ambulance arrived. They said it like that was supposed to be a comfort, that he didn't suffer. But Margaret thought, I'm the one suffering, and I'll be suffering for the rest of my life. 347 people came to Patrick's funeral. Margaret counted them. She counted everything in those first weeks. Steps to the altar, 23. Prayers in the rosary, 53 Hail Marys. Hours until sunrise, always too many. Counting gave her something to control when everything else was chaos. People said the things people say. He's in a better place. God needed another angel. Time heals all wounds. Margaret smiled and nodded. But inside, she was screaming, I don't want him in a better place. I want him here. Drop a praying hands emoji if someone has ever said something well-meaning that actually made your grief harder. The casseroles lasted 3 weeks. The phone calls lasted 6. By month 3, everyone else's life had returned to normal. Margaret's had not. She threw herself into faith the way a drowning person grabs at driftwood. Daily Mass at 7:30. Morning prayers before breakfast. Evening rosary while the sun set. Eucharistic adoration every Thursday at 3. She prayed for peace. For healing. For the crushing weight in her chest to lift. For one good night's sleep without waking at 2 a.m. reaching for a man who wasn't there. For a sign, any sign that Patrick was okay and that she would be okay too. The silence was deafening.